Hello, hello, LowKeyHighKey family. I am Hannah Joy, and this is our new YouTube channel. What is happening? I'm so excited. After talking to some of my TikTok fam, we agreed that YouTube would probably be a better platform for this type of content than Instagram, so here we are. I got an amazing suggestion to do a reintroduction video. This used to be a personal makeup account that I posted my client work, my traveling, all of that type of stuff, and it never really popped off. So I kind of left it alone for 2 years, and now we're back. This content is going to be a little bit different for those of you that were already subscribed to me. It's still going to be makeup, but it's also going to be about my mental health journey. We're all about the mental health here. So what I wanted to do, because I didn't really know how to start this video, to be honest, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and I also got some questions from TikTok and from Instagram. If you want to follow either, the link to my link tree is in the bio, and you can find those there. So first and foremost, again, my name is Hannah Joy. I am 29 years old. I am a professional makeup artist, and I was recently diagnosed with bipolar depression type 1. So what that means is that I have episodes that swing from depression to mania, and I kind of lean on the depressive side for the majority of the time. It is a very new diagnosis for me, but I really wanted to start processing this information, and that's where I leaned into TikTok. And when I started posting about my mental health, I really could not even believe the support and the other people on there that could actually relate to what I've been going through. I was finally feeling validated in the craziness that I've been feeling for so many years. I was first diagnosed with depression when I was 19 years old. That depression diagnosis came in and out for many years up until earlier this year when I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. I actually ended up being thrown into a manic episode because of being on the incorrect medication for me personally. Now, this was bittersweet because I had a manic episode that lasted about a month, and it was very hard to cope. It was very difficult, but I had a therapist who was on my side and an amazing support system that helped me get through the really difficult acceptance portion of being diagnosed with a mental illness. So here we are. We have over 60,000 amazing LowKeyHighKey family members on our TikTok, and we discuss our mental health, we discuss makeup, we discuss hair, we discuss all the things, and that's what we're bringing here to YouTube. So I can't wait. I'm super excited, and I'm so thankful that you all recommended this, because here we have another outlet to discuss and process and go through this mental health journey together. So without further ado, let's get into some questions. So the first question is, what is my diagnosis? I have been diagnosed with bipolar depression type 1, and I have also been diagnosed with PTSD. And in the past, when I was about 15 or 16, I was diagnosed with ADD. The next question is, how long have you been a makeup artist? My makeup artistry journey kind of started almost 7 years ago. I was very depressed, and we moved to a different state where I didn't know anybody, and I really didn't have an outlet to express myself in a creative way. So I started doing makeup on myself, and my very first goal was to learn how to do a winged eyeliner on my eye shape. And that really kicked off my love of makeup, a winged eyeliner. And I know that some of you can relate. For like a year and a half, I really wanted to perfect my craft, and I worked very hard before taking any clients. So I began taking clients in about 2015. So about 5 years. I would definitely say last year, 2019, was my best, most productive year. I had weddings almost every single week for months, and it was amazing and exciting. And seeing the faces of all of these brides after every single appointment, they're glowing and they're happy and they're thankful, just literally everything to me. The next question is, What inspired you to get into makeup? I would definitely say Desi Perkins inspired me to get into makeup in the first place because I saw her winged eyeliner and that was all I wanted to do. I don't know how to even explain what she did for me in that time of depression, but Desi Perkins literally lit up my life. And I really loved the fact that, and this may sound really silly, but that she had such sparse eyebrow hairs, and watching her eyebrow videos literally gave me hope that one day I could have good eyebrows. And I think I finally conquered the eyebrow 6 years later. The creative freedom aspect of it is just so fulfilling to me and therapeutic for me. I can't imagine not using this as a coping mechanism. Next question is, are you a cosmetologist? No, I am not a licensed cosmetologist. I have no licenses. I have no certificates. I am completely self-taught. Now to some of the mental health questions. What made you reach out to get help with your mental health? So this question is a little bit tricky. I have struggled with my mental health for as long as I can remember. I struggled with paranoia as a teenager. I struggled with panic attacks, anxiety attacks, all of that stuff from a younger age. Kind of thought that that's what everybody dealt with, to be honest, until I was 19 years old and I experienced my first miscarriage. And after that, I became so depressed. I ended up at the doctor's and ended up on antidepressant medication. That took place a few different times since 19 years old to now being 29. I would say more specifically that earlier this year was when I really acknowledged that something was incredibly off with my mental health. I was very depressed and I didn't know why. I was feeling a lot of hopelessness. I was feeling a lot of anger. I was hurting on the inside. I was definitely triggered by a personal experience that was taking place at the time, and it became too much for me. I was not suicidal and I was not self-harming, but I was having really terrible thoughts about my life. And I reached out to my mom. I told her that I was not okay and I think I need to go to a doctor. I didn't have insurance at the time and I hadn't had insurance for a couple of years, which is what made it so difficult for me to get help when I really needed it. But I applied for state insurance because I'm obviously not working with everything happening with COVID. And I finally got approved. And once I got approved, I found a doctor and a therapist, and I went and we just started working together. I was very, very honest about my hardship because I have 2 children and it has worn on all of us when my mental health is not at its best. It has been a long, rough year, but we are starting to finally see the fruit of all of the work that's been put in. The next question is, I have recently been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. What's your coping mechanisms? So I have worked a lot with my therapist about coping mechanisms. She's given me a lot of papers, a lot of grounding work and things like that. But for me, what I've found that works the best is coloring and grounding cards. I color almost every single day, and I know that that doesn't work for a lot of people, but for me, that works wonders. I'll sit down, I'll pull out my coloring book, and it has inspirational words on it, and I like to use pretty colors and really use color schemes and stuff like that, and it makes me feel accomplished. I love doing it. It's very therapeutic. I like focusing and concentrating on something else other than my feelings at the moment. When I'm really struggling, I reach for my grounding cards, and my grounding cards are little mini index cards that I wrote grounding questions on and grounding affirmations on that I can flip through when I'm having a panic attack, and they really help to ground me and remind me of where I am and to make me more present in the moment versus lost in the anxiety, lost in the panic, lost in all of the hard thoughts. I will also make a video on how I made my grounding cards at some point, and I am thinking about making a little Etsy shop to get them to people who don't want to make them themselves but really would like that support. So be on the lookout for that. If you have any suggestions, go ahead and let me know. how to work that because I've never even looked into an Etsy shop before. I did get a lot of questions asking about my coping mechanisms. So this one more specifically says, what are your coping vices for anxiety or when you feel a panic attack coming on? So I take this question a little bit differently as when I have coping mechanisms when I am already in an anxiety attack, because I think that they're two different things for me. When I'm in an anxiety attack or a panic attack, I can't function, I can't think, I'm stuck in the moment, I'm struggling, and I need somebody to intervene a lot of the times. When I feel an anxiety attack or a panic attack coming on, my very first step is to reach out to somebody that's in my support system. My parents, my fiance, my sister, my best friends, anybody that truly understands what's going on with me and can listen and can ground me and center me and affirm me in that moment so that it doesn't get to a full-blown panic attack. I also do use the grounding card and the coloring does work too, but sometimes I really just need somebody else to speak into that moment for me. I like to reach out to my support system for that. The next question is, do you like being a mom? I love being a mom. It is the hardest thing in the universe, but I wouldn't trade my children for anything. I am not a perfect parent, and it's definitely something that we're working through, especially with everything going on in the world right now. But I do love being their mom, and I just love them so much. Okay, questions about my hair. Who does my hair? I do my hair. I do my hair. I have definitely found different techniques that work for me. I have learned from YouTube. I have learned from hairdressers. I have definitely ruined my hair more times than I can count and more times than I would even like to admit, to be honest. But I think I've finally gotten some stuff down to have a little bit more of an understanding about how I like to do my hair and how to keep it from falling out. What kind of hair dye do I like to use? Currently, my favorite brand of hair dye is Good Dye Young. That is what is in my hair right now, the yellow. And I also have the Arctic Fox brand in my hair for the rainbow colors. I really like the size that you can get with the Arctic Fox, having two different sizes, and I really like the color range. I also really like that it's easier to change out for fashion colors versus if you have a color like this and it just doesn't want to wash out at all. So I would definitely use Good Dye Young for a more long-term color, and Arctic Fox I really like for a short-term color. I have also gotten a lot of requests for makeup tutorials and hair tutorials, and all of that good stuff will be coming in other videos, I promise. But for this particular video, we're gonna leave those special things out. What is some affordable makeup? My favorite affordable makeup brands are e.l.f. I love e.l.f. It is vegan, cruelty-free. They have so many products and they're coming out with better and better and better and more high-end products as time goes on. I love e.l.f. so much. I also really like Maybelline's foundations. They're very nice and they give a lot of different options for dry skin or oily skin, combo skin, things like that. I really love Maybelline. I'll also bring this topic in with NYX. I love NYX. I love their lip liners, I love their eyeliner, I love their eyeshadow palettes, I love their contour stick. I love NYX. Those would definitely be my top 3 favorite affordable drugstore makeup brands. So now we're gonna get into TikTok a little bit because my TikTok fam is here. I love you guys so much. So let's get into a couple of TikTok questions. When did you start TikTok? I actually only started TikTok earlier this year. I don't even remember. February, March, April, one of those months. I should probably actually go look back at my first video because it's still up. How does it feel to have so many followers? Okay, this is kind of crazy because I don't really think of anybody as followers. People will come onto my lives every single day and comment on my videos and tell me they're fans. And to me, I don't understand. I don't understand. Because to me, everybody is family. We're friends. We're in this together. And especially because the majority of my TikTok is related to mental health. I feel like we need to support each other. No one is better than the other person. We are all going through very valid experiences, and I like to hear the people out and I like to be heard. So it is definitely a two-way street when it comes to TikTok. I get excited when I see so many people, but I also get very overwhelmed because I don't want to let anybody down, and I want to make sure that I'm putting out content that is relatable but also not offensive. Are you religious? I don't like the term religious, but yes, I am a believer in Jesus Christ. No, I don't condemn anyone that's not, and will not be okay with anybody putting anybody else down in this space. So that means I don't like to speak about politics. I don't typically like to speak about religion unless it's in a very safe and respectful way. I'm definitely open to that. Any topic that is controversial, I try to stay away from on my platform, only because I really want this to be a safe and healing space for anybody that has mental illness, and I don't want it to be full of triggers. It's not because I want to avoid the topics, it's more of creating a safe environment for everybody, including myself. Well, that is it for today's video. I am so thankful that you guys stayed with me this far, and I really can't wait to see what comes from this. I love you guys so much, per usual, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.